Okay, 1, 2, 3. Mr. Marshall, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thanks, Harry. Great to have you back. Where are you at the moment?
I am in Squamish in Canada at the minute, British
Squamish.
Columbia. Yeah.
Squamish. Is that a particular reason for it being called that, or?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I think it might be I think it's the native way of saying it.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
very
I'm
good.
not too sure.
Excellent. Look, thanks for coming back on. I know that when we last spoke, you were just about to leave Oxenope and head back to Australia.
Yeah.
And now you are not in Australia. You've gone from very, very warm to very, very cold. So just give us a bit of a brief overview, because I know that people will listen to this without the context of the original reason why we first spoke.
All right. Yeah. So me and Craig both spoke. I think I'd only been a few weeks into the challenge,
It was
before
February,
he
wasn't
reached
it?
out.
Nearly a
Yeah.
full year.
Yeah. Wow. And I was just finishing the first leg of my year-long challenge, which was in the UK, before going over to Australia, where the second part of it was. And then I moved to Canada to finish off the third leg in middle of November, so just over 2 months ago now.
So did you plan it that way then?
Well, originally it was because of COVID, so we'd both applied for Australian visas whilst we was in the UK. But because of COVID, we were getting pushed back and pushed back. I got my visa approved and Morgan didn't. So then we applied for Canada, and then we ended up getting all those visas at one time. And you only have a year to enter from when it's issued. So yeah, we had to cut us Australia trip short by a few months and get over here before we missed out on the Canadian visa as well. So
yeah, sounds amazing. Why? I know you originally, when we spoke, Australia, family, etc. But what were you doing in Australia for work-wise?
solar farms predominantly. So just working like very rural Australia in some like pretty rough outback towns, where there's maybe like one pub, one shop, and you're just in the middle of nowhere. But really long hours and good money, so you could do like a 3-month stint and then take 3 months off and do a bit of traveling. And so yeah, it was definitely worth doing whilst we were there.
So how did you work? How did you find that work then?
I had friends that was out there before we got out there, who sort of got the foot in the door and give us a little nudge, and yeah, got us in. And then that were it. Once we were in, I think we did just over 3 years there in total, like on and off.
Excellent.
So it was the only work that we did whilst we were there.
So I can understand why you'd want to go back. What was the lifestyle like once you'd worked your time and then had a break?
Yeah, I mean the time on the farms wasn't the greatest. It were like 6 days on, 1 day off, or 13 days on, 1 day off, 10, 11-hour shifts.
Yeah.
I mean, you was working with all your friends and people who were like-minded sort of thing. But yeah, the time off that's where it was at. Like we did pretty much travel the whole of the coast of Australia, on and off. So yeah, and did it all in this camper that we bought with the money from the solar farms.
So what were your highlights then? What would you recommend to people if they're travelling over for the first time?
We loved the west coast were the best, I reckon. It were a lot more uncivilized, untouched. East coast is really nice as well, but it's obviously a lot more built up and populated. But yeah, we saw every kind of wildlife you can imagine on the west coast. Some beautiful beaches, and yeah, a very good place to do a lot of my runs anyway.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that, yeah.
And what was the biggest thing? What was the biggest thing you learned about yourself whilst you were in Australia when you first started?
I'd say, well, not necessarily about myself, but I'd say that I realised, because I feel like a lot of this challenge I've been on and off work, but I definitely found that when I was working, the challenge was way easier because I was in a routine. I'd just go to work, come home, do my run, and that was it. Whereas when we were traveling, sometimes you'd be traveling for 10, 11 hours, you'd get there in the dark, pitch up, and then you'd have to go on your run at 9, 10 o'clock at night. So it was very like chaotic. Didn't know when I'd be so I just had to squeeze them in whenever I could.
Yeah. What was the hottest temperature you ran in?
I think it was up in Darwin in the Northern Territory, maybe 41 degrees.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. Yeah, it was horrendous.
So,
Yeah.
Did you get many visitors to come out running with you apart from Morgan?
I did actually, yeah. We've had quite a lot of people join me. A lot of people I've not known until this challenge as well. Like I've sort of met along the way, either solar farms or whilst we was travelling. But yeah, we used to have a little bit of a running group go every week when we're at one of the solar farms, and we've got quite a few people going by the end. So
nice.
Yeah, it's been good.
The challenge has been really popular. What was the initial aim to raise through the Just Giving page when you first started?
Yeah, well, my initial target was £10 a day, which was 3,650. But my actual target that I was aiming for was 10 grand. But I didn't want to be over ambitious. I wasn't sure how people were going to react, so yeah, that was my sort of secret target. And I'm not actually too far off that now, which is
7,629.
Yeah,
that's well done.
And then there's also the profits from the Scrambled Legs merchandise yet to add on to that as well. So I think we're probably closer to 8.5, 9 now, which is it's good, perfect.
So tell us about that. How did that come about?
It originated from when I was on the solar farm, and I'd not actually yet got an Instagram page. I'd only started that maybe, well, it'd been 4 months ago, so like towards the back end of the challenge.
Tell us about Scrambled Legs, how that came about. I know it's been really successful in the short time that you've announced it.
Yeah, so it originated from when I was on the one of the last solar farms that I did in Chinchilla, and there were a couple of girls that said, "Oh, you should start up an Instagram page and whatnot." They helped me get it up and running, and because I'm useless with stuff like that, and they give me a few ideas and whatnot. But yeah, I think it's only been up maybe a few months, and it's done really well. I'm sort of regretting not having done it from the start, because it would have been nice to see it progress, and whereas in everything's sort of jumbled up all over at the minute, but it is what it is. It's
and
it's nice to have all the memories there.
What kind of merch can you get through it
then? So I've got hoodies, t-shirts, beanies, key rings, water bottles, and caps, and we're also now looking at bringing out some boxes, snoods, and shopping bags as well.
Brilliant. Have you got any there?
We're actually waiting to get some sent out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. It'll take a while to get delivered, though, I think.
Yeah. Where does it come from? Is it UK based or in the States?
Yeah. So it's a girl who used to go to school with my brother, who's got like a personalised sort of business. She personalises items for people, and she reached out to me and said, "Oh, I'd really like to help you out. Like,
wow,
do you want to come up with some sort of designs, and we'll see if we can get something going." And yeah, so she's based in Oakwood, and she's doing all the designing and fixing all the vinyl onto the stuff, and dropping everything off. So she's got a bit of a mammoth task, because we've had quite a lot of orders. So
yeah, definitely. What I will do when we finish is get her details, and also I'll put the link.
Perfect.
When we throw that out, I'll put it on social media as well. What kind of obstacles have you had to overcome in your transition across to Canada?
Main one is definitely the temperature, I'd say. I mean, it's very cold here, but even just going from Australian summer to a Canadian winter has been very challenging. Probably maybe a 40, 50 degree difference at times. Yeah. Because it has got up to minus 25 up in Whistler at times. So yeah, it's definitely the cold. I've had to buy a whole new wardrobe for running in. It's not just shorts and t-shirt anymore. Got to wrap up and cover your face and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's definitely took a bit of getting used to.
Is it dry cold or is it wet cold?
Yeah, it's dry cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the obviously, if you've lived in the UK or you haven't travelled to countries like Europe or Canada, is the temperature difference because of the wind?
The wind's
Is it
not
just
actually
that
too
cold?
bad. Yeah, it is. It is just cold. Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, with the wind on top, sometimes it just cuts you right through. But yeah, it's not exactly a windy place. But
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
cool. Cool. And you are undertaking another mammoth challenge in another 3 weeks' time. Tell us about that.
yeah. So it was always my aim to be able to do a marathon by the end of the challenge. So I thought if I can put in the year's work throughout, get fit, and then finish off the challenge with my first ever marathon. So yeah, I'm going to do that on the last day of the challenge, and I've also got a proper marathon booked in for Vancouver Marathon on May the 7th. So that'll be my first proper race that I'll have ever done. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
So you warm up marathon.
Yeah, get a bit of practice in.
Yeah. Have you ever done anything like that before? What's the longest distance?
I think longest distance I've run so far is 25. I'm hoping to get a 30k run in before I start it on the 16th. So we'll see how we go.
You'll be set up then, won't you? I think.
Yeah.
Have you had any injuries during the course of the year?
I've had little niggles. Yeah, I've had quite a few problems with my toes. A couple of my toes getting infected and struggling to put pressure on them. Rolled my ankle a couple of times, but not too badly. And then obviously when I did the 7 half marathons in 7 days, after that I suffered quite badly with knee problems. I had to sort of take probably just over a week of really slow, steady runs just to try and let it recover. But that seems to have got a lot better now. So yeah, I've been very lucky, I think. And yeah,
I was just thinking that when you were sort of telling us, but I mean, they can still be significant and just slow you right down. And
yeah.
when you've been through that, sort of having to adjust with your niggles, how has the mind reacted to what the body's telling you?
It's a tough one because, especially after the knee problems, like I was in quite a lot of pain and I was struggling to walk, and I knew that I had, what will it have been, maybe 2 months left still to do. So it wasn't just I can just battle through for another 10 days, get it finished. I still had quite a lot of the challenge to complete. So I really had to make a decision of, do I want to potentially cause long-term damage or get this challenge finished? And in my head, I was always finishing the challenge. It was just, I needed just to try and find a way around of sort of giving my body time to heal while still doing the run. So it just meant I just had to take a week at a very slow pace, rest up as much as I can. I was ice baths like most nights, and yeah, it seemed to work. Bought a couple of knee supports as well, which have made a bit of a difference.
Yeah, that was going to be my one of my questions. What kind of gear have you invested in over the year?
Yeah, well, I've completely changed my wardrobe. I mean, I was just running in scruffy shorts and t-shirt at start. I mean, that's all I needed. But since I've come over to Oz, I've had to buy balaclavas to keep off the cold. Obviously, knee supports. I've also been using some anti-inflammatory cream just for when I've been on longer runs, to try and keep my knee from swelling up. But yeah, the main thing is since I've got to Canada, I've actually had to start doing warm-ups because, I mean, I've not ever been a big believer in warm-ups. I just normally set off on my run and that's it. But yeah, over here, just because it's so cold, I feel like you definitely do need to warm up. Otherwise, you could easily pull a muscle. But so far, so good. 3 weeks to go, so I'm hoping I can hang in there.
I remember a long time ago, I think we were Colts at a cricket tournament, and we were going to be playing 6 days, 3 2-day matches. And the first game, we batted first. We got rolled and then we fielded. and then we lost that game. The second or the third day, the second game, we lost the toss and got put in the field. And we fielded for 250 overs on the trot.
Oh,
And
wow.
by the thought, and then you're talking about sort of warming up.
Yeah.
At the start of the tournament, we were 10 minutes warming up, running around, a bit of stretching, whatever. By the time we got to the end of the tournament, it was taking us over an hour to get warmed up properly and stretching. So, yeah. You've got to look after your body, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
So you look like you're in a hotel. Where are you? Tell us about that.
I'm at my house, actually, that we're staying at, yeah. But yeah, we were doing a dog sit, house sit type thing for somebody who we've never met. So we're just looking after their dog until they're transitioning to move over to Australia. But the dog's got to get all sorts of injections and stuff before they can send it over. So yeah, we're just looking after the old boy until he's ready to go.
Fantastic. It looks lovely. How did you come across that?
Just an app called Trusted House Sitters, and yeah, you just basically look after people's pets and stay in the house until they need to. Yeah, usually for when people are going on holiday and stuff. It's not normally for such long durations, but yeah, we've just managed to get lucky with this one.
And how long are you planning on staying in Canada for?
It'll be two-year visa in total. So yeah, I mean, I will be coming home in between, but yeah, 2 years in total, if not longer, if we decide to go down the PR route, but we'll see.
Sounds awesome. What is the long-term plan for your fundraising? So you do 2 marathons. Most people would just start to kick on in some kind of endurance fashion. What about you?
I've got a few plans. Yeah, definitely. My main plan is I think I probably will end up carrying on doing the daily runs. I mean, at least as long as the Vancouver Marathon, which is in May, I just think I may as well carry on and keep my training going and try and smash a really good time there. But I do want to do eventually 7 marathons in 7 days.
Nice one.
And maybe like a 100k ultra run. Yeah, so we'll see. I try to think of new ideas all the time that I can come up with, but I don't want to think too big just yet and get my first marathon out of the way.
I'll put you in touch with Sam Boatwright.
Yeah,
he's
is that the guy from Skipton?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've listened to one of his podcasts before.
Yeah, he loves it.
Yeah,
he loves it, and he's always said, once you can overcome the pain or get used to the pain, just keep on going. It just seems like there's been a wave of support right from day one.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually blown away by just not even necessarily the donations, but just the amount of messages that I just get randomly off people and saying that I've motivated them to start running or I pulled them out of a dark place, and that's what it's about. Like the raising money side of it is obviously why you start it, but yeah, the messages are amazing, and it's makes it worthwhile. Definitely helps keep you going when you're feeling a bit shitty and demotivated. So
you're never alone, although sometimes you may feel that way.
Yeah.
So for those who aren't privy to the charity that you're fundraising for, do you want to touch on that? So
it's worth talking about is mental health group we've got women's groups, men's groups, children's groups, located in like the West Yorkshire area around Keighley. I think we've got quite a number of locations now. Was originally started in memory of my brother, and I think another young man as well who lost his life in the same area. And they seem to be doing really well. I mean, it's sort of good and bad thing that they're opening so many, because it shows that it's in need, but obviously if the help's needed, at least they can provide it. So yeah, I mean, £10,000 is my target, and if I do reach that, I think that'll make a huge difference to like such a small charity. I think with the money that I raise, they are contemplating opening up a new youth group as well. So that'll go towards, I think they've got some of the funds already, but the money that I raise will go towards that as well. So it's quite cool knowing that I've contributed towards something specific rather than just sort of the money going to them and then that's it and you don't hear anything of it.
Yeah. And when you first started, did you think this would be the impact that you would have?
No, definitely not. I mean, initially I started it for personal reasons. I wanted to do something in memory of my brother and my mum, and also something to help me, sort of something to focus on for the next year and keep me going. But yeah, I mean, it's taken a completely different route. Like I've really enjoyed it. Fallen in love with running now. Like I don't think I'll ever stop. Just want to keep building on that, and then maybe do some more challenges in the future to raise money as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting when you talk about the challenge part, because your challenge can take on, totally different meanings. And where you started, this time last year to where you are now, it's just, TV personality on, that I'm talking to now.
Yeah, that was very unexpected. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've definitely developed as a person throughout this as well. Like I feel way more confident even just like speaking to the camera. I mean, I'd never have done that before. So yeah, I'm more confident, definitely a lot more healthier than what I was with all the running. And I just feel mentally in a good place, and I really do feel like running just for me is, if I've had a shit day, I go out and go on a run, come back and just feel 10 times better. Or if I've got lots of stuff on my mind and just get out for half an hour, and it just de-stresses you and gives you time to think. And yes, it's been good.
And so you're in a completely different country now, and obviously had a good support base in Australia. How have you managed with a new environment, meeting new people, if you've been able to meet new people, or are there any locals from here that are over there?
Yeah, I mean, I've been quite lucky because we've not just moved to another country and sort of not known anybody. Like we met a lot of people in Australia that have now gone and done the same thing as us there in Canada, or there was Canadians that we met in Australia. So yeah, we've met quite a few people on his travels that we've then met up with again in Canada. And there's also a few lads from home as well, from Keighley, that are here. So definitely makes it easier having some home boys out here.
And so when you've landed in Canada, have you just been sort of blagging it off and having a bit of a holiday and running, or are you working?
Yeah. No, it's been a bit of a holiday, really. For the first couple of months, we said we'd get Christmas out of the way and then look for jobs. I mean, it's took us a little longer than we'd have liked to start work, but hopefully starting next week. But yeah, I've just been running and skiing pretty much, and that's been it for the last 2 months, and going on nice walks with a dog, and it's been nice just to chill out and enjoy the outdoors.
So let's go back to TV. How did that come about, mate?
So it was very weird, actually. I had a girl who I used to know from university actually works for the BBC, which I wasn't aware of, and she reached out to me, just WhatsApped me, and said, "Oh, look, they're interested in doing a story. I've heard about it in the office. Like, they're saying that they wanted to do a story on you, and obviously I've got sort of a connection with you." So yeah, she messaged me, and we just arranged that and did a little Zoom call, and and then they edited it all and put it out, and I was actually really happy with how it turned out, because obviously when I was doing the interview with them, their screen was blank and they were just asking me questions and I answered them. But then they've edited it and they've put the videos and the pictures and the music and stuff in the background, and it's just sort of like me telling a little story, and you can't hear any of the questions. They were just sort of prompting me, and yeah, it was good. Something very different. I've never done anything like that before, so it was a good experience for sure.
Yeah, what a great experience. Obviously, I'm a bit more sort of rough around the edges and spit and so we'll put a bit of music on. I'll do a bit of a jig. What a great experience. How long did it take for them to do the interview for it to be on TV?
Well, I actually did the interview, maybe it might have ended up being about a week before it got aired. It was supposed to be a lot sooner, but they said every time they get breaking news, that takes priority. So it did get pushed back a few times, which was annoying because I was telling people a certain time and date of when it was getting put out, and then they were all ready to tune in, and then obviously it didn't come on. So yeah, but it got out there in the end. I think the video that I posted up on Facebook had like over 20,000 views as well. So
yeah, loads. Every time I jumped onto Facebook, it kept popping up. I thought, that's good. It's getting plenty of view time.
I had to sign out of Facebook for a while. I was sick of seeing it.
And so what are you planning on doing for work?
Just going to get a nice, easy job. I think we're just going to both be working up in a bar in Whistler. Okay. So it'll be nice atmosphere, something different. Yeah. Just
how far is Whistler? How far is work from where you are?
It's about a 50-minute drive up there. Yeah, so it's not too bad. We have just bought a car, but had a little accident in it yesterday, and the wheel's gone kaput. So it's in the garage at the minute. So we'll have to wait till that gets sorted. But
nice one. And any potential visits from family coming over?
I think Morgan's sister and fiance, now newly engaged, are coming out in, I think it's start of April. Going to come out for the end of the ski season. So we'll see them then. And then I'm actually going to my brother's wedding in August. So that's in Santorini, but I'm going home for a month after that. So I'll get to see everyone back home then. But yeah, apart from that, no plans as of yet.
I'm sure that Keith will pop over at some point.
I'm sure he'll want to go skiing at some point.
He'll bring the lads over.
Yeah.
And you'll be keen to get home and catch up with everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because obviously we came straight from Australia straight to Canada. I think we got out to Australia in, I think it'll have been around March time. So yeah, by August this year, it'll have been probably 18 months. So yeah, I'll definitely be ready to see everyone and meet up with friends and family. It'll be a nice way to see everybody at the wedding as well.
Yeah, definitely. Both you and Morgan coming back.
Yeah.
And I gather from some of the comments that she's made while you've both been running that she's a supporter. Yeah.
She's actually been on quite a few runs with me, surprisingly. I mean, before this challenge, I don't think she'd ever been on a run, maybe 1 or 2 5Ks. She did her first 10K a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, she enjoys it once she's done it, but it's hard work getting her out.
It's hard work. Yeah, some people enjoy running.
Yeah.
Some people can just not be bothered running. Either.
I think I used to be like that though. I feel like once you get over the stage of the actual running being like incredibly hard and tiring, and you can run without being out of breath sort of thing, then it gives you a chance to enjoy your surroundings and look at the view and sort of zone in, and then you can enjoy it. But yeah, when I first started, it was all you can focus on is breathing, and you're just panting, and it's not nice at the start, I must admit.
No. I know when I got to December and did all the Ks that I had to do because I hadn't done anything in October and November. It becomes a lot easier when you've got a task in mind and you're focused on it. You just
definitely when you set yourself, say like 300k for the month or whatever, and you've got something to work towards. Otherwise, it's very easy just to put it on the back burner and I'll do it tomorrow instead. But that's a good thing about why I've enjoyed this challenge, because originally I was gonna set it so that it'd be equivalent to 5k a day every day, and I could do 10k one day and then none the next. But I just felt like it's such a harder task to do it every single day, even if you're not doing more than 5k. But just the fact that you've got to get up and out and you've got to squeeze it in, like obviously when you're traveling and stuff like that. And I mean, sometimes I'll wake up and I might have friends round and we might go for a couple of beers and I'll be like, oh shit, I haven't done my run yet today, and I'll have to leave, go do my run and then come back and join them. So yeah, it definitely does take over your life at points, but I mean, most of the time it's pretty good.
Mate, when we went to New Zealand, I thought, right, I've got a full 4 weeks off work. I'm going to be smashing it.
Yeah,
And, I did 3 or 4 actually, but
yeah, life takes over and gets in the way, doesn't it?
yeah, exactly. Um, Running partners in Canada so far? Any others apart from your good lady?
Very few. Obviously, I've not got as many friends here as I did in Australia, and it's a bit harder to drag randomers along. But yeah, I've had a couple of mates from back home that have joined me, and I'm hoping that a few of them might join me for a little stint on my last day. Maybe do 5-10K with me, but we'll see if they turn up.
Oh, that's cool. Did I see something about a virtual run?
Yeah, so I wanted to try and do. Obviously, I'll be doing the marathon, but I wanted to try and get people from all over that I've met. There is. It started off originally. There's one in England in Keighley.
Yeah.
Starting off in Crossroads at the Bronte Hotel and running to Oxenhope and back, and then they're all finishing off and having a pint and whatnot after. But then I had a few people who were living abroad and saying, "Oh, like I want to do one too." So I've just sort of said, anyone who's wanting to do a run on that day, and so I don't know, take a photo or whatever, and yeah, it'd be like one big virtual run. So it'd be pretty cool.
You go like Facebook Live, mate.
Yeah, no. Well, I was thinking I might need to get one of those GoPro things that you can attach, but I don't know. It's a long way to be carrying one of them for the full
Even if
duration.
it's just for the start, let's say we'll start at, it could be midnight here or somewhere, couldn't it?
Yeah. I think actually it'll work out. I think the run in the UK is at, I think they're doing it at 7 p.m, which would be about 11 a.m. here. So, so I'll probably be on my run the same time as them. So maybe I'll try and do a FaceTime or something with them guys. Yeah.
Yeah, because the weather will be decent here by then, hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Look, I won't hold you up. I know that you've got to get on with your day, but from your point of view, give me a couple of the biggest lessons that you've learnt for you in the last 12 months, and then a couple of things that you'd like to shout out for people to, crack on with to help improve their well-being.
I'd say the biggest lesson I've learned is for myself is how much determination I have if I put my mind to something. I mean, when I set out this challenge, I had a few people sort of not putting me off, but saying how physically hard it'd be, how mentally hard it'd be, and are you sure you want to do that? It's a long time. And I mean, once I'd set that challenge for myself, there was no way that I was ever going to not complete it. But yeah, just the sheer determination, getting up every day. And I mean, there's days when I really can't be asked going, and I'll go, and then on them days I might do 15K just to push myself that little bit extra further. Yeah, that's probably the main thing. And I'm also very proud of what I've achieved as well, because I think sometimes I forget how far I've come from the start and what I have actually done. So it just blurs into one because you just take it day by day. But when I look at it as a whole, I do, yeah. And once I finish, I'll be buzzing that I've completed it.
Yeah, definitely.
And then what was the other question?
What would your shout out be to people listening in?
I'd just say, just set yourself targets. How big, well, however big or small, it doesn't matter. But yeah, if you set yourself a target and you've got something to work towards, I definitely feel that it provides something mentally stimulating for you. And if you've got an end goal, you've got something to work towards rather than just sort of taking it day by day. And it's definitely a big motivator. And for me, just exercise in general, whether it be running or going to the gym or going for a walk, if you are suffering mentally and you are struggling, then just get out the house and go do whatever you like doing, whether it be biking, swimming or whatever. But yeah, just that 30 minutes exercise every couple of days or whatever can make a massive difference. Yeah.
No, you're spot on there. I think, and I'd have to sort of reiterate the same. That quiet time
Yeah.
and doing exercise is really good for the body and really good for the mind and really good for the soul.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool, Harry. Well, unless there's anything else you want to cover off, I think we'll call that a wrap for this time, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll be able to catch up face to face.
Yeah. Won't be too long before I'm back. Yeah, August, middle of August, I think. I've got another wedding in Ireland, start of September, so I'm staying at home till then, going to Ireland, and then back to Canada.
Nice.
Busy month.
You'll be planning to get back to Canada as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, my friend. I do appreciate you coming back on, sharing all the stories that you've had, and
thank you for having me.
Really look forward to watching how you get on with the marathons, Jill.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not too sure what to expect from the. I did my longest run, as I said the other day. I think it was 25k, but I was surprised at my time. I think I did a half marathon in 1 hour 29. So yeah, my target for the Vancouver marathon is sub 3 hours. But I don't have a clue. I've never run that distance, so we'll see. I suppose the one in a few weeks will be a tester, and I can see how I go with that. And then
you'll cream it. The course in Whistler, is it a set course or is it something that you've designed?
No, I think it is a set course. It's not exactly. There's not probably going to be other people doing it. It's not like an organised race, but it is a set route that I think there is races on.
Right.
But I just need to scope it out and see, because obviously it's a lot snowier up there, and I don't want to get up there and it be just sheer ice, and then I'd rather just get it over with as quickly as I can. And yeah.
Cool.